And thanks. Meanwhile, from rising gas prices to bottleneck on the supplies for the country, President Biden facing a spending plan now as there's not a lot happening in Washington, D.C. right now. Let's bring in former State Senate President Mike Haridopolos joining us to help make sense of all this. Mike, hope you had a good weekend. Thanks for joining us.
We did, Ryan. Good morning to you as well.
So let's start with the Biden town hall where he met with some people that are kind of hand-selected people to try to answer some of these questions. What was your take on that?
Well, I'd love to have questions like that. It was softball city for the president. But he, as usual, his difficulty has been kind of getting his message out. He made multiple statements that caused his press team to kind of clean up the mess. Most notable was his comment about the immigration issue. As everyone knows, he has not visited the border. And their clarification of the issue was, well, he drove by there in 2008. 13 years ago. And so that's been a real challenge for him. And his other answer on this was, hey, you know, I just don't have the time to get down there right now because I'm so busy. When of the 276 days he's been president, 108 of those days he's been in Delaware at his home. So a lot of challenges here for the president because, you know, as we know, he's not this most skilled debater, and it's really showing in some of these town halls and is eroding what he really needs to get done this week, which of course is his big goal, is the infrastructure plan as well as the big spending bill. But he did get some ground this week, so it looks like Joe Manchin might be coming a little bit closer to the president.
Yeah, how big a deal is that, Mike? Obviously, they're not going to get the $3.5 trillion anywhere near that. But if they get Manchin on board, they might get the deal. But they're going to upset some people in the Progressive Party when they lose some of the things in there to get to the $3.5 trillion.
That's a great point, Ryan. And so we're clear with the viewers today. There's two parts here. The infrastructure bill is something that's actually a bipartisan bill, at least in the Senate. That's $1.2 trillion for improving our roads, schools, water, et cetera. That is something that most people support. But the progressives in the Democratic Party have said, no, unless we get this bigger spending bill, as you just pointed out, that was started at $3.5 trillion. Over the weekend, the news reports are saying it's somewhere less now than $2 trillion. So they're getting closer to getting Manchin on board, but they still have to work on Sinema from Arizona. Again, another Democrat senator, but they're getting closer. This will be a big week because, again, can they put this all together? Because the bigger problem that the president's facing is, partially because of the town hall-like situations, his approval ratings are now in the low 40s across the country and dropping every day. Yeah,
and our next issue is part of the reason why. We're talking about gas prices soaring and supply chain issues, and these are not easy problems to fix, Mike, and they seem to be getting worse. What is the optimism for them getting better? I know many on Wall Street think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. You see that there's all these trucks lined up in places like Long Beach and Los Angeles, but the people aren't unloading it. There's some union issues going on there. Ron DeSantis has even gotten into this issue on supply chain where he's saying, hey, look, if you don't want to ship your things into California, Florida ports are open, ready for business. But this supply chain is affecting us all because it causes prices to rise. It's simple supply and demand. There's a lot of demand, and the supply is not coming in from the West Coast, and that means people are willing to pay higher prices. The same holds true for gasoline. You and I are filling up our tank. I had a situation where I was going up to Tallahassee last week, and the gas prices were over $4 a gallon, though most of them in the $3.50 range. These are real challenges for middle-class families, and so even though they have a job, they're paying a lot more for everyday items.
I want to finish. We were touching on immigration before, and the issue with Taiwan. The president saying the U.S. will defend Taiwan, but no shift in policy.
Well, again, this is where he made a gaffe. The policy officially is kind of a nebulous policy, which is we will give arms to Taiwan, but not necessarily come to their aid like we would with a NATO country if they were attacked. And so the president misspoke on this issue, even when the moderator tried to protect him and say, don't you mean this? And he said, no, I mean that. And so these are the challenges where places like the Wall Street Journal are starting to say, is this guy really up for the job? This is a really critical editorial over the weekend, and it shows kind of this frustration a lot of people are feeling with the president, where he's trying to appease everybody, and then there's the reason why his political agenda is probably not getting passed, because he doesn't have that leadership skill that so many people were looking for. And so he'll face some real challenges this week. Can he get it done? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, some real hurdles ahead. It looks like they made progress this week, but we'll see exactly what happened this weekend. We're going to hit some state issues coming up. We got a lot of those as well at 8:30. Mike, great stuff. We'll see you at 8:30.
Thank you, Ryan.
That is former Senate President Mike Haridopolos. All right, 7:40 this morning. Coming up, we just touched on it a little bit.